Had our first practice yesterday, and it was a great practice. We had a great practice. Got up and down a little bit, kind of got our legs back, and got to compete again. So everything's going good on our end.
Hey, how you doing? It's Kyle from the OC Register. I was wondering, what's it like going through some of the quarantine protocols with the distancing, even from your own teammates, and to that end, how did it feel to kind of be able to pass to them and play with them a little bit yesterday and actually work out with some guys?
The protocols aren't that bad. I mean, we get tested every day, and it's not any testing that no one can handle or been exposed to already. To be back on the floor with the guys was definitely a treat. And then we got another one today that's just going to be even better. So, I think a lot of guys are just excited to get back on the court with each other and get to play some, organized basketball again.
Tanya?
Yeah. Hey, Anthony. I'm curious. I'm curious how you've spent the time that you've had here so far. I mean, outside of practicing, have you taken advantage of any of the amenities that the NBA has made available to you guys, or have you seen any friends that you normally around this time of year wouldn't get to hang out with? And then also, well, no, let's just. That's it.
No, I haven't enjoyed any amenities yet. I don't think some are open, some aren't yet, but I haven't been doing much. I've been in the room playing video games with other guys on the team. Everybody had brought their gaming system, so we're kind of online just playing against each other or being teammates. So there's not much that we've done. Today is actually our first day that we stepped foot out of the hotel, and we all realize how hot Orlando is, but I think for the most part, guys are just, sitting back in their rooms and just, enjoying that me time and playing video games.
Anthony, it's Dave. You have about, 2.5 weeks until the first game against the Clippers.
Yeah.
What needs to happen for you and for the group to be ready for that opening challenge?
I think just getting our chemistry again. We had a couple months off, and we're on a great roll. Getting Dion and Jr. adjusted to our system and to our team, and building that chemistry now that we don't have guys here. So just trying to rebuild our system, rebuild our chemistry again, and getting ready for our first, not only our first game, but our first scrimmage against Dallas. Just trying to get back into the swing of things. So by the time the first game comes, we're already in a great groove.
Hey Anthony, it's Bill Oram. Hey, I'm wondering, now that you guys are there and you're all settled and the last 4 months are kind of behind you and you're able to start playing again, what do you realize now that maybe you missed the most over these last 4 months?
From a personal life standpoint?
Well, I mean, either way.
I don't know if you're still talking, but I'm going to interrupt you. Can they still hear me? They say he's talking.
He might be muted. They have to mute him when he's.
Well, from a personal life standpoint, I found myself wanting to go to the movies a lot. I haven't been to the movies in a while, so I think that's one of the major things that I miss, just going out and going to restaurants and movies and being able to just move around the city of LA. And from a basketball standpoint, just being able to play the game. Luckily we have a chance now to continue to play and compete for a championship, but that's 4 months where you can't, play pickup, you can't practice. There's a lot that we couldn't do, especially the early part of the quarantine. So now we're getting a chance to get back in the swing of things. I'm just excited just to be back on the floor, especially with my team.
Hey, Anthony, it's Kurt Sandoval from Channel 7. A, thanks for hanging out the extra 15 minutes. B, you talked about chemistry. A lot of people are wondering, in this 3 to 4 month gap, does it feel like you're starting training camp again, or does it feel different?
It kind of, sort of. It's kind of like a training camp, but the good thing about it that we don't have to go over a lot of offensive, defensive things because we kind of remember, from the season. But it's kind of just starting back in the training camp sense, just for our bodies, getting our bodies back to playing through contact, getting up and down the floor, and getting in basketball shape, which is a different kind of shape. So this is kind of like a little training camp, but at the same time, you want to be smart because you really don't have a long season here. Whereas as far as training camp, the start of a regular NBA season, you go through games, and then some guys are still kind of using the early part of the season to get in shape. Where as this training camp here, you kind of have to step on the gas a little bit more.
Hey, Dee, Melissa Rowland here. How would you compare the last practice that you guys had on March 11th to yesterday's practice in terms of rest? And also, I was wondering if you could explain your decision behind choosing not to go with a social justice message on the back of your jersey.
First, I don't remember our last practice, March 11th. I know that's the day we got quarantined. That was my birthday, so I don't remember any of that. And then the whole thing about not having a social injustice saying on my jersey, I think just for me, I think the name Davis just is something that I try to represent every time I step on the floor. My family, and I was kind of torn between the two. I didn't know what to decide. Should I go with a social justice message or should I have my last name? And I just think my last name is something that is very important to me. Also, social injustice as well. But just holding my family name and represent the name on the back to go through this process, and a name and people who've been with me through my entire career to help me get to this point, while still kind of figuring out things that we can do for social injustice. So I think some guys chose to, some guys chose not, but we'll have a ton of ways to kind of represent what we stand for.
Last question.
Hey Anthony, it's Joe Barton from The Athletic. You were talking earlier about the video game playing, and the NBA is, they kind of went through a whole thing to try to find cool stuff for you guys to do. And last night I think there was DJs at the hotels. I'm wondering, it doesn't sound like many people went to that, and I'm wondering if there was any discussion about going, and then if what you've heard the NBA has laid out for you that you actually would be interested in doing.
To be quite honest, that's the first time I heard of the DJ thing was today. Dwight told me he was the only one there. So I think, quite frankly, a lot of guys just didn't know about it. And so I know the NBA is trying to make this as comfortable as possible and more, and as relaxing as possible for us. So they're going to always try to do different things to kind of just make everyone feel as home as possible. So I think what they're doing is great. To kind of make this feel at home for the next 1, 2, or 3 months for teams. And if I would have known about it, maybe I would have went, maybe not. But I had no idea that they was having a DJ. But like I said, they're doing things to kind of help guys kind of stay in their routine off the floor and keep their daily lives, as far as going to the theme parks on some days, or golfing, boating, fishing, and stuff like that. So they're trying to make this as normal as possible for us.